Hi guys, and welcome back to another Saturday night Bessel fun sip and paint. So here with the family, locked down as we are. For those of you that it's your first time, welcome. My name is Karen, but everybody calls me Bess. And this is my sip and paint live sessions. We have our technical guru here tonight, so if you hear a bit of a oh, no. Oh. Ah, it's all a bit random. Don't touch anything, Thomas, please.
I'm not.
Thomas is about to change everything around. So, as I'm trying to get better at this, and obviously last week we had a total disaster with the internet connection, so I ended up doing it at home. We're back at the studio today, and we have better better mobile connection. Apparently Optus last week had a massive outage. I don't know what outage means, but apparently they were doing something, and no connection. Today is Anzac Day, so lest we forget all of those that have fought for us down in Australia in all the past wars. And you know what, guys, we're fighting a different kind of monster, a different enemy, but it's still very appropriate, and it's still very appropriate that today's Anzac. I'm wearing my poppy in memory of all of our fallen heroes, and actually Georgia O'Keeffe, who is our artist that we're going to be using as inspiration today. I won't say we're going to copy the work because everyone's is going to look a little bit different, but Georgia O'Keeffe does an absolutely beautiful giant big red poppy, a really beautiful one. So if you like painting the tulip today, then that's one that you could do. Now I've got a different setup, like I say. I'm wearing a mic. I know, technical. I'm wearing a mic. So can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? If you can't hear me, then I'm just looking stupid to a camera, which is okay. I look stupid quite a lot of the time. But give me a thumbs up, tell me that you can hear me, say it's okay, and then we're going to be ready to start. Have we got any thumbs up? Anybody online? No one coming through? Thumbs up, people. Let me know that you can hear me. Yes? Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, so we got some thumbs up. Don't worry, I have cleaned my hands. I've just got an itchy nose. So we're here in the studio, like I said. I'm going to apologise. My husband's giving me sign language. I'm trying to watch him and talk at the same time. I'm going to apologise if we do have any outages, but hopefully we shouldn't. We've done this before, heaps and heaps. The family are all set up here, ready to go. Today's painting, let me just give you a brief about it. I want you to not be too stressed, okay? It's a bit different than the other paintings. I have painted and taught this class to children. I've taught children as young as prep paintings. Georgia O'Keeffe was an amazing American artist, born at the late 1800s, and she's famed and remembered for her close-ups of flowers. When I say close-ups, I mean like pictures, you can't even see the outside of the flower, you just see the centre, or, I mean, some of them you can. There's irises that she does, you can see the full flower, but the tulip is only the centre. What does that mean for you? Well, what it means is stop worrying about trying to get an exact flower. Don't worry too much about the form. This will end up being a beautiful, quite subtle, contemporary art piece. Now that sounds all very posh and all very grand. Oh, you're doing contemporary art today, people. Well, it is, because it means that you'll end up having something slightly abstract. It will be lines and forms and softness and pattern. And look, way back when Thomas was in prep, I did a Georgia O'Keeffe class for his school in Sydney, in Castle Cove, and half of the class, no word of a lie, the mums all framed the kids' artwork because it came out beautifully. So, whether you're a child or you're an adult painting this, I think you have good chance of getting a really good painting that you'll be proud of. But it's not going to look like a gondola. It's not going to look like a musical instrument. It's a very soft, contemporary, abstract picture, okay? So let's put that out there. You just need to follow me and follow the form. Now, what I would say, which is what David kind of was a bit stressed about, he said, is it going to be one of those paintings with the black lines that I can just colour in? Because he knows where he's going with that. No, I'm afraid not. It's a blending kind of exercise, all right? So it's a blending kind of painting, which means you're going to have to listen to me and you're going to need something to blend on. Now, I've shown you this before. I use these plastic mats to blend on. So if you've got a placemat at home that you could use, a bottom of a Tupperware lid, or just a piece of paper. A piece of paper is slightly a bit more tricky because it dries quickly on the paper, whereas when you put it on plastic, it doesn't dry so quickly. If you haven't got any plastic, or you haven't got, then cling wrap something and that could work. Okay, I just wanted to show you, just as an aside, this is what we just painted at 5 o'clock for the painting picnic. And although this is a kiddie painting, you can see that's the enlargement. So this is the enlargement that we did for the kiddies earlier. And that's the same kind of thing that Georgia O'Keeffe does. Not in the same kind of, you know, bright, crazy, Larry way. I mean, that's obviously a fun kid picture. But I'll give you a bit of a heads up. Somebody also mentioned to me last week, so there's a couple of things I'm going to talk through. I've got fun stories to say as well, but let's just get all of this boring stuff out of the way. One of the ladies around here said that they're struggling to find paint. Look, there's a couple of options. My mum in the UK bought her paint from Amazon, so she had it shipped and here within a week, so that's one option. For those of you around the gap that are struggling and still want to hook in with me for Saturday nights while we're here in lockdown, then please let me know. I am happy and more than happy to sell you some paint wholesale. I can order some more in from my supplier because I get the educational discount, and I'm more than happy to sell you paper, canvases and paint. Okay, so if you do need, message me direct and I can do that. If you're overseas, and I know there's definitely some friends in the UK, you can get it from Amazon, and my mum got it delivered. So it's not actually that much, you know, like, you'll probably save 20% buying it wholesale, but not much more. Okay, for those of you painting today, some are using watercolours. Just go slow with the water and go careful because it's a very big picture. For those of you using acrylic, like I say, you're going to need to have something to blend on. I think we're ready to go. Are you ready to go, David? Yeah? Okay.
It shouldn't turn off now.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so we've got our selection of brushes. I'm going to make sure that the camera is on my painting and not on me anymore. Hello, Joe Davey. Hello, Hayley. Hello, Brenda. Hello, Kerry. Welcome, welcome. Just turn this. Right, so hopefully you shouldn't see me and you can just see the canvas. Awesome. Are we ready to go? Let's have some big hearts. And it's absolutely critical that I know where you're calling me from. WH Smith has a massive sale and most are open due to the post office. Well, there you go. Thank you for Emily in Cornwall in England for letting us know that WH Smith has got a massive sale. Go get your paints there from, guys. That's a great top tip. No good for you guys in Australia, but great for the English contingent. So, here we go. I am off. I'm going to start off with my large mid-level paintbrush. So it's not my smallest paintbrush, it's not the squarest paintbrush, and we're going to start off with that. We're going to dip it in some water, and we are going to, I want you to mix a very pale pink. When I say pale, if we had a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being bright pink, and 1 being white, I want you to mix a 3 or a 4, so a very pale pink, okay? Mix it on your little mixing palette. Mix it.
Mix a lot?
Thomas just asked me, should he mix a lot? Not really a lot, because you're going to add water, and this is going to be what you draw with. So we just need a little puddle, and that's what we're going to draw with, okay? So if I pull mine up to the camera, you can see how much I've mixed. So that there. And there's the colour. It's now dripping because I'm lifting it up, but you can see the colour that I've mixed there. All right, so what we're going to aim to do to start with is to draw the basic shape of our painting. Like I said to you, there's lots of blending today, okay? Let us all know where you're all from, and I'll do a shout out. So we've got Joe Davey in Degget. We've got Nikki Cooper and Emily Cooper. I know you're from Cornwall. I don't know, I missed some of the Kerry Maunder. And that's from the Gap. Welcome, welcome. So I'm ready to go. We're going to put a dot at the top and a dot at the bottom, halfway through our canvas. We're going to put a dot on the left and a dot on the right. Now, because the paint is really faint, you are not really going to see that from home. Okay? But that's okay. Kelly's here from the Gap. Hi, Kelly. And I'd like to say a huge thank you, Kelly, for my bottle of Prosecco, to say thank you for my sip and paints. And you can see I'm enjoying that as we speak. And my beautiful hand-painted card that you left for me. It was so kind of you. Thank you very much. Hello, Karen from Barden. Well, I think you're my first Barden lady. Welcome, welcome. And we have Angela from the Gap. And Michelle, another Gappy. Beautiful. Okay. Now, people, I am going to paint slightly darker colour. Please don't change yours, but this is just so you can see my paint as I'm painting, all right? Okay, Andrea Austin's joined. Mum's here. Mum is from Cornwall, of course. Okay, so I've done my dots. Corner, half, 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 half. Hopefully my pink is a little bit darker now, so you can see it. Okay. I want you to watch, guys. This is exactly how I do it if you're in my class stood here right now. Watch me, don't paint, okay? Watch me, don't paint, because I can only paint it once. This is my top corner here. I'm starting in that top corner, and I'm going to pass through the centre line. I'm going to go into this corner, back to the letter C, okay? I'm doing the letter C. Watch me. Here we go. Anna's here. Diane is from Wynnum West. Anna, you are local. Stefan's joined from Cornwall. Hi, Steph. He's a great artist, by the way. You should check out Stefan Washer's page for his art. He's brilliant. Adele from Clayfield. Sorry, can't do it tonight. I have to go. I'll have a go later this week. Okay, Andrea, I'll see you later in the week. Right, I'm going to stop talking. I am going to start painting. Okay, top right-hand corner. Ready? I'm going to do a C. It's not a big cat C like this. It's more of an italic C, I guess you'd say. Okay, we're going down, past our centre point, round, under and over. That's a really good example of a nice, loose, curvy C. Yours should be a little bit lighter than mine. I've obviously darkened my paint up so that you can see my letter C, okay? You can see my letter C. I keep looking next to me so I can make sure that you can see what I can see. I can see what you can see with the letter C. So that's what you want, a nice, loose, loopy letter C, okay? Okay, this is our top corner here. We're going to go halfway up that top corner. So our top quarter. There's our middle point, there's our top point, and put a dot halfway between the two. Hi Tracy Gray's friend from Kapira. Hi Linda, welcome. Susie from Carindale, just sipping tonight, you're very welcome. Any time to come and just sip and watch, you know that. Okay, our aim is to get to the centre. This is the centre point of our tulip. And we don't want to go from that spot there into the centre of our tulip. So if you need to know where it is, just put yourself a little spot and then you'll see from point A to point B. Guys all okay? Yeah, good job. Harry, don't press so hard with your paintbrush and you'll have a finer line. Okay, watch. We're kind of doing a letter S, but a letter S is like that, and we want it to be much more soft, almost like someone has stretched it out, okay? So starting up here, and I'm going to do my letter S, and we go stretch it out, okay? A nice, stretchy, swoopy S. Remember to have some water on your brush so that you get a lovely, smooth line. Keep your brush wet. Moist, moist, moist. We talked about moist a couple of weeks ago. It's a hideous word, but it is what you want your brush to be. So, how was everybody's week? Oh my goodness. For those of you that checked in at my 5 o'clock paint and picnic, you'll know my trauma and tantrum this week. let's be honest, I am no school teacher. I am a creative, random teacher, but I'm not a school teacher. And it was tricky for me, and it was tricky for the kids. We'll get into that later. All right, we're going to go from here. Here's my halfway part. Here's my halfway part. Here's the bottom of my canvas. And I'm going to make a halfway mark just there. Okay? Halfway, halfway, quarter way. Make yourself a quarter way mark. And then we're going to go from the bottom of my tulip. And I want to go probably 2 centimetres below that quarter way point. And we are going to do a kind of like a stretched out letter Z. Okay? Stretched out letter Z. So we curl under and then, oh, I missed my target. My target was there. Okay, under and down to that target. So you've drawn your target line, under and down to the target. Harry, do you want to move over to where Daddy is and sit next to Daddy? Yeah. Move your chair right round if you want to. We're just having a bit of a technical hitch because Harry can't see it. David, could you help him move around in a minute? Okay. So you've got a bit of a letter Z there. Awesome. Beautiful. Now this is following the same line under here. We're going to finish up at the bottom corner, but you're going to put an extra bump in it. So you're going to go down, you're going to do the same curve there, and then you're going to put an extra bump, almost like you're putting steps or something. Sort of steps, I guess. But remember, it's not really heavy lines, okay? It's a swoop. It's a soft curve. So watching me, I'm going to start from the bottom of my tulip. I curve out, I curve back, I go across, I add another curve, and then I hit the corner. So it's just that extra curve, that extra step. So homeschool. Well, we started off really well. We set up everybody's stations. We got everybody set up upstairs so that in our new house, mine and David's open plan office is kind of a big landing area in the 3rd floor. And our desks, so I was quite comfortable that the kids were going to work from their home desks in their bedrooms because we're all going to have the doors open and we'd all be able to see. So that was all great, fantastic. And they were kind of self-managing, so they knew what they were doing, they were comfortable with it all, and they were happy and, you know, seemed to be getting on really well. However, the problem really occurred that at the end of the week, when, or certainly on Friday, Harry woke up and sort of said, Mum, what can I do? Can I help you? I've got no work to do. And I said, well, how have you got no work to do? And he said, well, because I've done it all. And what I realised when I then sat and looked at all of his work, okay, pause that thought, we're going to do the next line. Okay, here's your top left-hand corner. I'm going to mark halfway between that quarter and then half again. That's the point I'm going to use. So, top quarter, halfway, and halfway again. That's the point I'm going to use. And we are going to do a soft curve from that point down to the bottom of our tulip bowl. So from that point down to the bottom. And I'm going to do it all in one. It's much easier if you just try and let your arm flow and do it all in one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, woo! Just a nice soft curve. So, yeah, and then, so I looked at Harry's work, and, you know, to be fair, he'd done really well. He tried to do as much as he could himself, but what I really realised is that, you know, our kids have spent their entire life being taught by somebody at the front of the classroom. They have had their work delivered to them by a teacher. I'm not a teacher, so all this work that's now flat and online, they're having to read, sort of digest, make sense of, and then respond to. And yes, whilst they might do a worksheet like that in the classroom now and again, they don't do every single class and every single subject like that. And also, the teachers are sort of having a chat. They've got Sophie to one side and Brian in front of them and Bob next to them. And so they can sort of discuss it with their table friends to really understand if they've got it right or wrong. And so instead of having that response, Harry's handwriting with his digital tool on his paper, that PDF didn't open, or I didn't understand that, which is correct. He's responding to what his situation was. But somewhere between, I don't know, trying to carry on working, David and I also obviously need to be a bit more active with our teaching, because you cannot let these poor children try and teach themselves. It's just not possible. So we're going to have to work out a new method next week. All right, so I'm going to add in 3 lines in between this area here, okay? In between this area here, we're going to have 3 lines. I'm going to put a short line there. I'm going to put a longer line there. And I'm going to put a midline there. Off you go. 3 lines in the centre of your tulip. Now, tulips are all sorts of colours. Obviously, we often think of them as just being bright red, but they can be all sorts of colours. You know, orange, yellow, and this one is a very pale pink colour. Is everybody keeping up so far, and everybody doing all right? Hi, Julie and Claire, next to Diane at West Wynnum. Oh, we've got friends hooking in. That's lovely. So it's been a funny old week from the homeschooling. I think it's a bit love-hate. Harry would love to go back to school, I think, next week, really. But alas, that's not going to happen. We've got another 4 weeks to go through, so we have to kind of work it out. We'll have to make it work. And I'm sure he's found it a bit tricky as well. So it'd be good for me to know what sort of materials you're using tonight. Hello, Maddie Briscoe from Canberra. Welcome. You will be my first I don't even know. What do you say, David? What are they called? Cambodian? No, Canberrians. What's the word when?
People of ACT.
People of ACT, he said. Work, but anyway, Canberrian, something like that. Welcome. You're my first person from Canberra, should I say. That's the easiest. Canberra, for those English people, might not know, but it is actually I guess the capital of Australia. No, not I guess, it is the capital of Australia, from the Australian Capital Territory, the ACT. Everyone thinks that Sydney's probably the capital, and then Melbourne people want it to be the capital, and that's why they built a new capital. So that is that part of our painting. Okay, I want you to wash your brush, and I want you to mix a very, 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 very light green. So to mix light green, guys, use the palest green you've got and add some white. Scale of 1 to 10, I want it to be about a 3. A nice pale white green. I'm putting my brush up, and you're going to see the colour. It's not even a mint green, it's not even that dark. Solitaire's doing acrylic paints. We've got Michelle doing acrylic. Hayley's doing pencil, fantastic. Lots of blending, Hayley, when you're using coloured pencils. The technique I'm going to tell you is to blend. Angela, I'm not an artist, but I think I'm using watercolours. Fantastic. Well, if they are in a cake and they are dry, they're watercolours probably. If they're squeezy, you could have wet colour watercolours, and it would say on the little pot. So this is beautiful for watercolours. It's a really blending one. Going back to using coloured pencils. So the way you get tone when you're using coloured pencils is all about pressure. So if I press hard, I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration while you're mixing up that green. I've got some coloured pencils here. So I've got a pink. Here's my coloured pencil. So I draw a line like that. If I press hard, I'm going to get full colour out. If I release it and I don't press so hard, I'll get tones, okay? If you want to mix up the colour, you add a second colour on top. Let's say I want to make that pink darker. I'm going to pick up a purple, and then I'm going to lightly and very softly add and introduce that second colour over the top of the first colour, okay? If you want to make a dark shadow, you press harder, but you literally layer the colours. So it's the same as paint, but it's a much slower process. Now, I know the other day somebody did use coloured pencils, and they found that I was painting too quick for them. Well, all I'll say is don't worry, because I saved this painting, and afterwards you'll be able to go back and you'll be able to finish it off if you get left behind. Okay, our first paint with the green. We're starting up here where our pink area was. We're going to come down and we're going to draw in a line that goes down this way. Okay, so watching me up here, we go down, we go for the same bulge here, so I'm following that line there. We have the same bulge, but we turn and we end up at the bottom of our painting. About the centre actually, just one side of the centre. So all the way down, round the corner, and then down the bottom there.
Someone said no sound.
There's no sound? No sound, no sound. Hang on. Okay. Just checking on the sound. Can't hear you. Just, okay, hang on. Ditch this. Sound quality. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. No, not me. Leanne can't hear me. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, so everybody else can hear me. Leanne, you can't hear me? I think you're the only one. Can you hear me now, Leanne? Everybody else can hear me. It's just you, I think. Everybody else can hear me, Leanne. Everybody's peeing their pants. All right. Okay, I'm good. Oh, it's the internet that keeps cutting out, I think. Well, there's not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. It is what it is here. So let's keep going. So I've done that line there. I'm now going to put in our next line. The next line starts up here between these two, and it goes down. And I want you to give it a slight little wiggle as you bring it down. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Don't be too precious. You don't have to have the same amount of wiggles as me. I'm not so stressed about that. Wiggle, wiggle. This is obviously the leaf of our tulip, and so we're just putting in some of the leaf. I can hear you. Joe says I can hear you. Hopefully other people can hear me. I just need my mouse. Where's my mouse? You all right? I need to put these. Okay. I can hear you. Olivia, we can hear you, but it's a bit it's glitching a lot. No sound for us and buffering. Can hear you, but keeps dropping out. A little glitchy. Okay, well, I'm going to have to keep going, guys. I don't know what more I can do. We're the best that we can get it right now. So I hope that you can keep going. All right, let's keep going. I'm now going to put in the last one. I'm getting a little bit darker green. Little bit of a darker green, mixing up a bit of a darker green, and we're going to go from here. We're going to go out to the side of my canvas, and then I'm going to bring it down this way and let it go into the middle. So it goes down, round the corner, and just finishes off there. Yes, we can hear you well now. Okay, well, hopefully we'll keep on persevering. Keep drinking wine, people. Keep drinking wine. All right, that is the sketching out. Nearly done. We've got two more things to do. One is that we are going to put a giant wine bottle, and we're going to put a wine bottle in here, okay? Right in the middle. So, it's going to be about as big as my hand, really. So I'm going to, if you watch the scale of what I'm going to do, I'm going to go across here, down here, and then I'm going to turn it into a shape. It's like a wine bottle. That's the easiest way of describing it. Like a wine bottle. And I'm going to paint mine in green. because it is going to be green at the very end. So I'm just going to paint it in one tone of green, okay? So you're going to add a wine bottle, which is the centre of our flower. I've made mine a bit wide there, so I'm just going to wipe it. I've made it just a little bit too wide, so I'm just wiping it off and making it a bit narrower. Good job, beautiful. Hopefully you can all hear me well and it's going okay. This is our bottle of wine, sip and paint, lovely, lovely. If you're having a beer, well, don't draw a beer bottle, it's still a wine. Good job.
It's more like a perfume bottle.
Oh, Harry says it's more like a perfume bottle. Yeah, it could be. Good job, could be a perfume bottle. Okay, now mix a little bit of pale yellow. So yellow with white, get yourself a little bit of pale yellow. And we're going to add in 3 bananas, okay? 1 banana, there. 2 banana, there. 3 banana, there. And 1 more, which is actually out and follows this shape here, like that. That's obviously your stamen and your pollen. And that is our drawing done. So we've drawn everything that we're going to paint now, and now we're going to start blending. So I'm going to take you off my stand, and we are going to have a look at the families and see what we've got happening. Don't stress, Harry, it's all a bit of fun. Okay, I'm going to give you a close-up of mine so you can see where things are at. You've got the wine bottle, the 3 bananas, 1 on the outside, the wobbly. So that's where we're at, okay? We're going to come round and see Miss Daisy. Oh, that looks nice, Daisy. Beautiful. Lovely, good job. There's Daisy's. And Thomas, how are we doing? Oh, lovely. Good job. Very nice. Nice wine bottle. David, good wine bottle. Very nice. Just putting his yellow in. How are you going? David's had a bit of a haircut this week. We've gone for matching haircuts in our family. 1 here and 1 here. And here's young Harry Bessel. Oh, nice, darling. Like it. Good job. Good mixing of your colours. That's awesome.
How?
So here we are. Here's my little setup. Look. So I've got my tripod there, my canvas. And you can see David set me up here so I can see all your messages coming in now on my paint trolley. So this is I've done a little table here for the family. We ate our dinner at home today. We didn't bring it in. We had our pasties straight out the oven. And this is my other little setup here. So I've got another tripod there now and a light. I'm going to start doing all my teaching each week. This is going to be my teaching desk. There's all my little paintings that we've been doing together up in the background. So I'll be doing 3 classes a day for kids every day starting next week. And I've set up all my materials, which I'm going to do a little video on what you need to set things up for the kids at home. So that's where we're at. I'm going to put you back on the stand now. There we go. Just pop it back in, screw you in. And then we'll start painting and filling in our colours. Okay, I'm just going to dot that down. There we go. Get the lead back in so we don't lose any battery. Good job. All right. Now, the key with Georgia O'Keeffe is it's lots of blending. So I suggest we're going to start off with the palest colours. Because if we start off with the palest colours, we can always add more colour to it, okay? And we're going to start off. Can you show the bananas again, please? They're not really bananas, Mum. They are just yellow lumps. But I'm going to take it off my stand and I'm going to bring it in close to show you. So there's the wine bottle. And then you've got 1 banana up, 2 banana up, 3 banana up, and the other one going down on that side. All right, there you go. All right, let's put you back on my tripod. There we go. So I suggest you have a cup of tea or just get a nice glass of wine, and I would like you to watch me while I show you how to do some of this blending, okay? Because I want you to get it right, and we're going to basically blend on the paper or on the canvas. So like I say, I want you to start off pretty much just using white, and then we will add tone in. So this section here, I'm just painting white. This is just white paint out to the corner. I want to keep those lines so I can see where my lines go round my wine bottle, and then up to the edge of the canvas. That is just white. Okay. Now, this is where we start to tone and change it. Sounds like it's really complicated, and I understand that. This bit here is going to be bright white. So when things curve in real life, the thing that's on the front of the curve is the highlighted bit, and the thing that's behind is the shadow bit. So this fold of the flower is going to be the palest. And where I did that pink line, that is going to be the shadow that we are going to grade, tone, shade. It's hard to explain, so it's easier if I just show you. So I've done white there and there. Now I'm going to get my brush and I'm going to add a bit of pink to it. And I want it to be really soft. So if I use a wet brush, so this is the darkest bit where the shadow is, directly underneath that curve. And now I want to blend from pink to the white. So all I'm going to do is keep on moving my brush through the white, and as I go through the white, it will go paler and paler. If you end up having too much pink, put your brush in the water and wash some of the pink away, because you do not want it too bright, okay? It's a very, very soft colour, and it's a very, very soft painting. So if you're getting it too bright, wash it down and add some more white. You want it to be soft. So I have actually painted from here right to about there, just in that pink tone. It's the darkest here, look, where that line is. That's the darkest area. And then all I did, because I painted it white before, was to go over the white with my brush, and it blended it to create that lovely soft pink tone. All right? Really, really soft, really, really easy. Don't overblend. What if you're getting no pink? They just add a tiny bit more. You can always add more, but you can't really take it away, so you really want to go soft. And this is the kind of lightest part of this picture. Have I got any questions? What do we do if we're using watercolour? Okay, if you're using watercolour, I'll get my piece of paper and I'll get my watercolours for you. 2 secs. So just bear with me, Kelly. I'm just going to show you with watercolour. Okay, here's my other piece of paper. With watercolours, start off with the lightest colour you've got of pink, okay? And if you haven't got a very light colour, then the key is to use more water. Okay, I'm going to paint with the watercolour like this, over and over. You can hardly see that colour coming out, I think, because my pink is really, really pale. Then I'm going to add the next colour. Now, I don't have another colour of pink, so I'm having to go to red, and I'm going to add some red in. And then I literally do exactly the same. So I start in my darkest area, and I move through the water, through that colour, and you'll end up getting a gradient change. You'll end up getting a change of tone, and do less, less, less. You can build it up. Don't keep on adding loads of water because it will make your paper too soggy, but you can add more tone. So if I wanted to make it darker, I'm getting a bit more red now, and I just add a bit more red to it, and then go over, 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 and the water on your paper should do the blending for you, okay? So it's very soft and very slight. If you put too much on and you want to take some off, then just use your paper towel, a tissue, or a piece of toilet roll or something like that, and you can just blot it off. And there you've got that beautiful gradient, which is very, very similar to what I've done up there. All right? Okay, hopefully that's answered that little question. Any more questions? Let me check. Hi Tracy from Cornwall, welcome, welcome. All right, good Cornish contingent in today. Okie dokes. So, this colour of pink, while it's on your brush, this colour of pink is going to be this section here. So the bottom of this tulip area. I want you to paint it to go out to the edge. Out to the edge. And I'm just going to use the wet of the brush to take it all the way to that white area. Just the wet of the brush. So it's slightly wetter, slightly more see-through. And now I'm going to add a bit of pink, a bit of white to my brush, and I'm just going to paint over the top. Again, beautiful powder pink. Lovely soft tone change. But leaving that area there, the brightest of white, so it has the highlight. So it has the highlight. Just gone round my banana there at the bottom. All right, really soft. The flower is opening up. These are the highlighted bits so far. Is everybody... I had to put my daughter to bed and I've missed so much. Oh, Angela, you'll be okay. Is everybody okay? Is anybody stuck, worried? Angela, all we did was paint white in this section to start with. The whole of that section we painted white. Then we added pink and we went backwards towards the middle to get that lovely soft pink blend, all right? If you're using watercolours, it's the same, but use your lightest pink first and then add your darker tones afterwards. Good job. So I haven't done any art this week because obviously I've been homeschooling. But something that has been very excited. Hi Mel, welcome, welcome back my lovely friend. One thing that has been quite exciting is I've had a paradigm shift. Dun, dun, dun. What's a paradigm shift? Well, I've just decided that actually I quite like doing this. I quite like doing it with you guys. I quite like the reach. So having spent the last 5 years just teaching in the Gap, well, and Brisbane, I've now realised that I really can connect everybody around the world, and I absolutely love it. So I have started I'm going to turn it on me a minute. Hopefully you can see this. You can turn it on me. I've started a YouTube channel. I've just built it this week. It's called You Create Art at Home. And why is that going to be great? Well, 1, kids can access it because they don't have to have a Facebook account. 2, it is global reach to everybody, anywhere. So it's so much more portable, easy, accessible. 3, it means that
You can pre-record videos.
I can pre-record videos. Thank you, Harry. And I don't have to do all these lives, even though I love connecting with you on a Saturday night. When we have technology outages, whatever Optus are doing, it obviously affects my ability to teach. So doing some pre-records means that I can give you loads and loads of art all the time, and you can go dip in, dip out whenever you want it. And you won't have necessarily the amateurish craziness that sometimes comes with me. Actually, you'll always have that. David's looking at me going, yeah, you still have that. You will. You'll still have that.
Hey, Mummy.
Yes?
What about your hair?
What about my hair?
New colour.
Oh yeah, Harry's just reminded me I had my hair done this week. So I've got a new colour, I've got red, which is beautiful with my little red poppy. Had a bit of red put in there. Thank you to my hairdresser Kerry Maunder, popped around her house. She's all sanitised to the high heavens and is only taking one-on-one appointments, and it had to be a certain amount of time. But it was brilliant, just to have my hair cut and coloured, so thank you, Kerry. All right, let's put you back on my picture, and off we go. All right, now I want you to make a slightly darker tone. So with the pink that you've had, this is going to sound a little bit scary, but add a tiny bit of red. And you should end up with more of a kind of blood pink. A blood pink. Okay? So I added a tiny bit of red, and you'll end up with a blood pink. Okay, wash your brush out. Once you've made that colour.
Is that a blood pink?
Bit darker, Daisy. Okay, the pink that you've just used, I want you to paint this section here in that pink. So it's that tone there. I want you to paint the inside piece of this part of our tulip in that pink. So it's the darker pink than any of those. Okay, it's the darker pink, but it's not the blood pink that we've just mixed. Okay, it's not the blood pink. It's before, if you haven't got any left, just mix some again. So if you've just used all that pink up, just mix you some. Bless you, David. Remember, if it's looking too light, you can always add more colour, but try not to go too heavy because you'll end up thinking, oh, I've put too much colour on now. All right, so just go slowly. So I've painted between where the bottle is and that centre line, the first curve, but I've gone over the short curve, yeah? So I've gone over that little short line that we put. That's okay, that's intentional. Okay, and now with your blood pink, I want you to paint from the line to the middle. Now I'm using dabbing strokes. Can you see that? I'm dabbing with my brush because I don't want it to be as blended as the other one. I want it to be a little bit more shady and have a little bit more texture. Almost like it's sort of got its own pattern, really. Just having a bit more. So I'm just going to go round my bottle carefully and I'm dabbing it. So I'm not making a smooth paint. I'm not trying to get as smooth. If you are using watercolours, you can do exactly the same as I'm doing here, dabbing it with a brush. You will still get texture from your brush. If you're using pencils, then I would draw in little circles and that will give you some texture, okay? So there's ways around all of this for all of us. So you can see that that definitely has a different texture and a different look than the one where we've done a smooth blend. Would you agree? Hopefully you would agree. Okay, just want to have a check-in that everybody can still hear me okay. Is it still glitchy? Olivia, Gray, are we still glitchy? Slow down, okay? Slowing down. Let's have a bit of a chat and let you get up. I'm slowing down. I like it when you tell me to stop.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Harriet Thomas has just said, slow down. Okay, so we're just doing this bit here. This little element of our tulip. Everyone's getting angry with me. Why are you getting angry with me? No, it's not glitchy. Thanks, Olivia. Don't get angry with me. Was that you, Thomas? Are you doing all those faces? I think my son is... No? I wondered whether he's got his phone and he's giving me angry faces.
Daisy.
Is it Daisy?
No, I can't do that. It only gives you likes and hearts.
Okay. All good for us now. Good. Great, Leanne. I'm so pleased. Was it my mum? Was it? Mum, are you giving me angry faces? You better not be. David Bessel reacted. Oh, you give me a heart. No.
I did.
Oh, Daisy. Daisy just did that one. I don't know who's doing what here.
I
Okay.
have Dad's phone.
You have Dad's phone. Awesome. Okay. So, I'm starting a YouTube channel. Still a bit glitchy. Sorry, Amy. I guess it's literally just the internet connection. We've got it okay here. I can't do more about it. So, sorry. On the plus side, you're not paying for it, so you don't have to leave me a terrible review because it's really not my fault. I will have to work out how to get Wi-Fi down here. Yeah, I can just see it says live video interrupted. So clearly there is, yeah, it is. I can see it myself that it's just glitching. So I'm very, very, very sorry, but I'm doing my best. I should say, actually, people, for all of you beautiful friends and supporters of mine, I know you all write gorgeous things after the class on this rolling thing and then send me your pictures, but I would be really, really, really grateful if you could pop onto @YouCreateArtAtHome and actually leave me a proper review, because those reviews are really help to boost my rating within Facebook and give me some organic reach. So if you could spare me and just put a little review on for me under the reviews section. If you've done it already, thank you. And if you haven't, then a bit like a busker when you're watching doing their thing in the street and you chuck them $1, then that's really all I'm asking for. Payment would be in kind if you could just leave me a lovely review. Thank you. If you don't like it, just don't leave a review. Okie dokes. So here we go. Now I'm switching to a big brush. Okay, a big brush. Here we go.
I was using the big brush the whole time.
We're going to use a big brush. I want you to find a pale pink. If it was on a tone chart, it's about a 2 or a 3 pink, and I want you to add a bit of yellow to it, a tiny bit of yellow to it. So those of you using watercolours, I would paint with the pink first, and then I'd paint with yellow on top.
I'll make something pale.
It should make it look peach. Make it whiter, yours, Harry. Look how light. You need to make it lighter. Okay, this whole section I'm going to paint with this colour. It'll end up being, if you've got yellow in with pink, it should end up with a very, very pale peach tone.
Lighter?
Lighter again. Yeah, you can always add it darker, Harry, but you want it nice and light to start with. So I'm painting the whole of this section in this very, very light peachy colour. Now I'm going to paint mine. I'm going to paint mine, and then I'm going to take it off the stand, and I'm going to show you close up the colours, okay? Remember, start light. You can go darker. If you don't want to follow my colours, that's fine. Go your own route, it's fine. But you just want to try and get the tone changes, that's all. So if you started darker, when I do a dark tone in a minute, you need to go darker again, all right? So you don't have to have it exactly the same as me. I understand that people want to make their own choice, that's fine, and I welcome that. So I've painted that whole section in that peach colour, okay? Now I know that's a little bit difficult to see on camera, so I'm just going to undo the camera and I'm going to take it up close for you, all right? Undo the camera off the tripod, and I'm going to take it up close so you can see. All right, so you can see it's such a pale colour. There's the pink next to it. There's my blending. There we go. Thank you, Nikki, said get following YouTube. I agree. Please, I have 14 subscribers, and out of those, 5 or 6 of them are my family. Please don't let me die of embarrassment on YouTube being the only trajo on there that have 14 subscribers. However, I know that I should get more than that, because I've got 1,000 followers on this Facebook now, and I've had nearly 1 million views. Daisy, that's looking gorgeous. Well done. I love your texture. Good job. Ooh. Daisy's wearing this beautiful dress today. Look how gorgeous she looks.
I don't want to get it wrong.
Oh, she looks so sweet. Coming round for Tom Bob's. Here we go. Oh, nice, Tom. That's a lovely colour. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
What?
Daddy's is looking like it's got a bit of a suntan, but that's okay. You can choose your own. Can I make a suggestion now? You dip your brush in white and just paint white from where the pink is. No. Dip it in white and paint from here back into it, and it will pale it up. That's it. There you go. You'll get it lighter. Good job. That's fine. Don't put any more colour on there. Harry, that's a lovely tone, Harry. Well done. Good job. So you can see my guys are painting on paper today. And I just had these, I'll show you what they are. You know those plastic advertising boards that you had for advertising? And I cut them up and they've got them with a little clip on here as, what are you laughing for? All right. And they've just got them on those as a kind of a palette, which is really, really cool. I'm doing mine on a canvas, but I only have one canvas left. Because I had been reusing all my canvases, but my kids loved, and David loved our cherry blossoms so much, they wanted to put it up in the bathroom, so I couldn't reuse them, and I don't have any more at the moment. There we are, we're back on there. Good job. Is everybody... Oh, I've just kicked the camera, let me just check that's okay. No, it's not. Redo. All, Susie, all good. We're loving it anyway. Good job. Brilliant. Fantastic. So, people, are you ready to continue? Anna, have you caught up? Am I ready to go? Don't want to go too fast, don't want to go too slow. I know people have got a Saturday night to have after me. Last night, I actually joined somebody else's class. So, I decided to create a little date night. For those of you that are friends with me, know that I actually messed up because I thought it was last Friday. Organised and created all of the ingredients to find out that it was this Friday. So I had to put it all in the freezer. But I joined my dear friend Karen Marshall. She's got a business called Come and Cook. And she did curry night last night. So I joined her and I cooked butter chicken, pilau rice and Bombay potatoes. And oh my goodness me. David and I managed to drink 2 bottles of wine this morning. But the food was, I'm going to tell you, it was the best curry I've ever made in my life. It was sublime. And the kids all had nachos. They cooked their own nachos and they went down in the den downstairs and watched a movie. And then when they came up, we all got up and we were having such a laugh. At the end of Karen's cooking class, we all sat and ate supper together. And then her husband played some music on his guitar and we were giving what's the word? Song requests, and we all started dancing, and then the kids and us, we all stayed up till about 11:30 playing a card game, which I won't say because it's rude, but we used to play when we were at uni, but it was great fun. So that was last night, really, really good. Okay, are we all up? Are we all ready? Let's find out. Give me a thumbs up. It was so good to cook with you last night. Oh, Kim, oh my God, we had so much fun. We had so much fun. And the food was delicious. Okay, how are we all ready? Give me some thumbs up so I can move on. Hopefully we can move on. I know a couple of times when I was cooking, I got a little bit lost. And at one point, the butter chicken was all cooking away. And I looked down and I still had the garlic and ginger and I had no idea what to do with it. So that's why I'm really conscious today to make sure that I'm keeping up with you guys. All right, we've got some angry faces coming up, which is probably Harry, is it?
No, it wasn't. I didn't do it. I can't do it.
Right. Okay.
Somebody spelled.
Looks like everybody else is giving me thumbs up, so I'm going to move on. Okay, people, let's go. We're moving down to here now. We're going to stay in the pink lines, okay? Moving down to here. I want you to just get white on your brush. Now, think of this as a petal that opens and folds down. Think of this piece here that looks like a river. Think of it as a part of a petal that has opened and folded down, okay? That's what I want you to think. So this part is the lightest part, so I'm painting just white to there. Just white to that hump there. And then I want you to get your next pale pink. And I want you to paint pale pink to the bottom. If you've run out of pale pink, you might need to mix some more. So that bit at the bottom is the pale pink and this bit is just open and white, okay? Open and white, I'm just going around that line again. Open and down, there's the fold. If you get a little bit of pink on the white, don't worry about it. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's not pure white. We don't need it to be pure white. But you just want it to have that lightness in the fold just there, okay? And then that same colour that you've got on your brush, I want you to do the other side of where we have that swoop there. So it should be slightly lighter than that dark area that we created. If it's not, just put a tiny bit of white in. In fact, mine isn't. It needs a touch of white. Mine, it's a little bit too dark, so I'm just going to add a touch of white. You can see I'm painting the white straight over the pink because with my brush it will blend it itself. Lots of blending. This is a really technical class for blending, and if you master this, you can paint absolutely anything, my friends. Absolutely anything. And it's what I really like is that we've done some really interesting paintings, haven't we? We've done, you know, a monochromatic painting when we went to Japan. We've done a very stylistic painting when we went to Spain with Picasso. We've painted with kitchen implements on a piece of cardboard with our Vincent van Gogh poppy field. With Banksy, we did more of an inky kind of watercolour, which we tipped sideways. And then we had very, very stark kind of black silhouetting. With the lovely gondolas, that's a lot of blending, but it wasn't as soft as this. It was much more stroke orientated. So we've had lots of variety. So if nothing else, you are getting lots of technical help here, people. Mum, I had too much wine. I did, sorry. I'm gonna own it. Last night I had too much wine. Had a shocking hangover this morning. But I know you also have too much wine many times, so. Okay, you see where we stopped here? Yeah? There's this, on your painting, you should have from this area to this area, should be paper or canvas. Hopefully that's all the same for all of you. Okay, changing things up a little bit, people. I want you to dip your brush into some blue. And I want you to add the blue with the pink.
I accidentally went.
That's okay. Doesn't matter, you can just paint on top. If you have painted this area, then you're just going to paint on top. But what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of pink, a little bit of blue, and it's going to add some shade. So this is our shadow. It will end up, if you've got blue and pink, it'll end up making a mauvey colour. Mauve is a funny colour, isn't it? I mean, I think it's different colour for different people. Mauve, violet, I don't really... As an art teacher, I should know the difference between all of those. No, I use blue, Daisy, but if you want to use purple, that's fine. I don't really mind.
Can you mix them?
You can mix them and create your own if you want to, yeah. And can you see, I've got a bit of pink coming through, a bit of... Don't try and get rid of that change of colour. Like if there's a bit of pink striking through and a bit of white and a bit of blue, that's fine. Just let it be really loose and kind of soft colour.
Wow.
All right. I'm now just going to put a bit of white on my brush. I'm just going to go on the outside of my canvas and I'm going to flick it over that blue and it will just soften it off on the edge, okay?
Are you using purple, Dad?
So to soften and blend between two very different colours, you don't push very hard with your brush. You just use the bristles to stroke over the top. And what the bristles do is they pick up a bit of that colour and a bit of that colour and they will soften and merge it together for you, alright? So you don't, if you push really hard, all the paint that's in this brush is going to go straight on that canvas. So just stroke it, tickle it, fluff it, feather it, just softly over the top of the canvas or over the top of your paper. If you feel like you've got too much paint on your brush, then just put it, dry it on your paper towel or whatever you've got, and just dry it off a little bit.
I can't even see a tulip coming out of mine.
You can't see a tulip coming out of it. It's the very centre. It's only the centre of a tulip. So this is the centre, the very centre, and that's the stamen. That's the pollen bits that a bumblebee would enjoy. I know, it's different, isn't it? Okay, then there's a tiny bit of that blue-purple is right underneath this petal here. Where your green line is, it's just a tiny bit of purple there. And then I'm going to put a little piece of bluey purple up through that one there. Now I'm going to stop so that you can catch up and make sure that you are in the same level as me, okay? I don't want you to get left behind. If you think it's too dark, add a little bit of white. That's fine, Daisy. That's fine. You tired, sweetheart?
Yeah.
You want to go home? No. So with this here, look, I'll just add
Getting confused.
You're getting confused? Yeah. Just add a bit of white there, look. There you go. That's just softened it up. It's exactly what it should be. You're doing really well. Doing really well. That's it. Done. So you need a bit of that blue purple. You need a little bit there underneath. Can you see there where I've done it there?
Yeah.
So there's one bit. I know you're in a bit of a difficult position. Oh, okay.
Just the reason I'm behind you a little bit is just because it's a bit behind.
That's okay. That's okay. All good. David and Thomas, are you okay? Yeah? Okay, I've still got 36 people with me, I hope. So I'm hoping that you're still all here. I've done that little bit of bluey purple there. I've gone up through and cut between that piece there. And you've got that blend there. I might take it off the stand and just go up close so that you can see my purpley blue bit. So you can see it nice and close. You can see where I've gone white on the corner and I've just flicked it in, and then it's slightly darker where that stamen is. And then on that corner I've got a bit of blue there, and then I've cut up that peachy one that we did up there. I've just done a bum crack right up through. All right, let's have a look at everybody else's. Daisy's showing how happy she is. Ah, she's painting her hand. That's looking lovely. These paintings, I have to say, are much better from a distance. So if I pull it out from a distance, that's where you get the beauty of these paintings. They're not supposed to be seen from as close as how you're drawing them. Oh, that's looking good, boys. David's looking good. Tom, very nice. It is, remember what I said, a contemporary abstract painting. There's Harry's. They look lovely. You're doing really well. Good job. And there's mine from a bit of a distance as well. Okie dokes. I'll pop you back in. Get you in there. Screw you up. All right. So, just so you know, you're about halfway through your picture, okay? You're about halfway through your painting. We're going to finish this bit here and this bit here, and this is the pink side, then we're going over to the greens. Okay, use your peachy whitey colour. Don't wash your brush out. It should have a tiny bit of that lilac-y pink still in your brush, but mix your brush in with that peachy colour that you did up here, and you'll get a brand new soft pale tone that will be at the bottom. So it's a bit of lilac, a bit of pink, bit of yellow. If you're doing watercolour, then just flood the area with water and then just add in those colours little by little and let them kind of blend together, all right? Let them kind of blend together. I'm just adding a bit of blue because I just didn't have quite enough blue on my brush, so I'm just adding in a bit of blue there to get that tone that I'm looking for. So it's just, gosh, that's peach, that's blue, and this is somewhere in between the two. So it's got a bit of blue in it, but it's got a peachy background. I tell you, it's kind of, if it's turning brown, then maybe your brush is dirty, or maybe. Yeah, that's lovely. No, that's too dark.
So it's that colour, and then
Let me come and have a look.
That.
So you want kind of, where's your white?
How's it brown?
That you want something like that, all right? That colour.
That colour.
Wash your brush, Thomas.
That
So Thomas is just showing me that every time he's painting, he's mixing new colours. But if you don't wash your brush every time and clean the paint out, all of the paint that's in your bristles is just going to carry on painting out. Yeah, that's fine, Daisy. And everybody's is going to be slightly different because the way you mix your own colours is going to be different for everybody, and that's okay. All right, that's fine. Okay, I want you to add a tiny bit more blue to the tone that you've just mixed. And we're just going to streak down some blue down this side, next to where the green leaf is. And I'm just using horizontal, and then I'm just going around that curve there. So I'm just adding almost like a bit of shadow to that leaf, to that petal, sorry. Okay. This is the bottom of the petal. All these pinky bits are the petal, and the green bits will be the leaf. So you end up having the lightest tone is in the middle, and I've got a bit of blue and a little bit of pink just around that outside area. And I haven't done smooth blending, I've left it a little bit rough, but I've kind of used horizontal strokes like this and just pulled it into the middle. Just like that. So that centre bit I haven't blended at all. That centre bit I haven't blended at all.
Did you add more blue to it?
I added a touch more blue just to get that shadowy area, Daisy. If you're using purple instead of blue, or whatever colours you're using, you just want to add that dark colour in now. Okay, I've added some dark purple to the edge of my brush, and just watch me. I'm going to draw down that line with a dark purple line, underneath that curve there with a dark purple line. You can use any brush you want. And then here I'm going to add a swoop there with a dark purple line. Now once I've done that, I'm going to put my finger in water, and with my finger I'm just going to go over the edge of that line just to soften one side of that purple line that I've just done. So paint the line, then put your finger in water,
yep,
and just use your finger just to blend one side of that line. So you'll end up with one really soft side and a hard other side.
Paint the line.
So you want to keep the outer line as a nice hard edge, but your finger softens off all that colour.
Oh yeah.
That worked well?
I haven't tried it.
Oh. Just use your little finger.
Mine's working.
Good. Use your little finger.
My fingers are little. Oh yeah, beautiful.
So quiet in here tonight. How's everybody going? Give me some feedback. Type in, I know you're probably painting, you're like, I don't want to feedback anything. But just let me know how you're going. Are you finding it really hard? Are you hating it? Are you enjoying it?
Finger painting's fun.
Painting is fun, Harry, you're right.
You said finger painting.
Oh, finger painting's fun. Yeah, you can use finger painting. Okay, now the same we've just done with the pink. I want you to mix red and purple together. And I want it to be predominantly red, and you'll end up with like a red and purple together should give you maroon, like a burgundy red. And we're going to do exactly the same. We are going to draw some extra hard lines. So watch me, I'm going to draw one line here.
Which was weird.
What was it again? Purple and blue?
Yep.
Purple and red. Purple and red, and that will give you a maroony colour. Then dip your finger in, and I want you then to smudge that line. So you'll end up with the outside of these lines being a really hard colour, but the inside should be nice and soft. Now, if you don't want to use a finger, you can use a brush, or you could use a cloth. But I always find my fingers work really well for this sort of thing.
Yeah, same as me.
So that line there, then I'm going to do this line here. Now watch me, I'm just sort of wibbling. So these lines that we did before with the darker colour, I'm just sort of wiggling it a little bit more, just to make it slightly less contrived. So it's a little bit more of a natural shape. So instead of it being a perfect curve, I've gone for a wigglier line. And now I'm just using my finger in the water, and I'm just blending the inside side of that line, the inside side of the line. So I'm not going on the outside, just the inside.
Inside side.
The inside side, I know, it's not very good English as it has. There we go. So I don't know how many of you follow me, or whether you've just been hooked in by friends, but you might have noticed, if you have been following me, that I've started doing time-lapse sketches from nominations of people, friends, family, anyone who's on the front line can nominate somebody to have a pencil drawing, and I'm doing them for free, and then I will post them in the mail. So if you do have a friend, a family, a relative, a neighbour, a cousin, somebody you know in your street that you think you would really like to say thank you, and they've been doing an amazing job and working super hard, then you can always send me their picture and their details, and I'd be more than happy to do a beautiful pencil sketch, pencil portrait of them for you. So if you haven't seen them, have a look online. I've done about 4. I've got about 6 more to do, but I'm more than happy to put you in the queue, all right? So that's something that I've been enjoying doing myself. It's always good for artists to keep their hand in and keep practicing. Okay, down here I'm going to add some of that maroon down the outside of that petal there. And this curve here. Again, use my finger and just blend in softly the outside of that. I'm just moving my finger around in little circles actually, just to get that blend. So that's the darker tone, that's the darkest tone we've nearly finished this side of the flower. And we have just got to, has everybody done that? You've got your purpley reds? Did you do this bottom bit down here, guys? Yeah? Okay. So using this purpley red, we're going to add in a big fold here, like a big V shape. And I want you to paint it in with your purpley red, the maroon, Queensland colours. Just using my finger just to blend it off at the edge there. Need a bit more paint. Red and purple to get that maroony colour. Just going to give it a bit stronger around that edge there. It's coming together, peeps. Okay, then finally, and I want you to be quite casual with this. Casual means don't overthink it. Are you not painting anymore? Oh. Don't overthink it. I'm in all my pinky area. I'm just putting my big fat brush in, and what I want to do is I just want to start at the top of that area of the flower, and I'm just going to bounce my brush like this. So bear in mind, this is a real enlargement of the inside of a tulip. So there's lots, we're trying to show a little bit of texture. So I've got a bit of pink, a bit of white, a bit of that yellowy colour, and I'm just using my brush like a stamp, and I'm just kind of bouncing it on the canvas, and it's just going to give me a little bit of texture so that this area isn't really flat. I know probably you can't hear it over me banging my canvas. So I'm holding it at the end, and I'm literally just letting it bounce forwards and back. If you end up having too much of the same colour in one area, then just try and get a little bit of yellow maybe, then a little bit of pink maybe. And you don't want to go over any of the others, it's just this area that we left. We're just adding in a little bit of texture and a little bit of sort of transitioning of colour. It should end up looking lovely and blush. I'm just going to go over the very end of where that colour changed there. So I'm letting it shine through there, but I'm just bouncing it on the edge, just so it's got that beautiful softness, okay? So you should then have that lovely softness of colour. How are you finding that, guys? All right?
Lovely and soft.
Lovely and soft? Good. I'm going to do a little bit of bouncing just on this edge of this petal at the bottom here. So I've got a slightly lighter tone and a slightly darker tone, and I'm just doing a little bit of bouncing of my brush just on that edge, just to get a bit of texture on the very, and this is because if you were looking at it through, you know, a very, very magnified lens, then you would see all of this, oh, that's too much. You would see all of this texture of the plant, and that's what we're trying to show. The actual texture on the flower bloom itself, yeah? All right, good job. That is over half of our painting done. We're now going to do the leaf, and then we're going to finish off with the middle. So wash your brush out, we're going on to green. Wash your brush out, we're going on to green. Sorry guys, we're going to be about 15 minutes. We're overrunning a little bit. I apologise for that. David said I'm talking too much. I'm not, I'm working really hard. Cheeky monkey. This is much easier. Okay, you see where your curvy line is here? The one that splits in between? I'm going to paint white all the way down. White all the way down. Curvy line, paint white all the way down.
Don't we need the green?
No, you're painting white, Daisy. That's why I said white. On that curvy line down the centre of your leaf, you want to paint white. Okay, follow that line and you're going to paint white. That is the lightest part of our leaf. Okay, so I'm painting white first. After I paint white, I'm now going to paint green. And I'm going to let the two wet colours blend together. It's a really soft green. It's not a heavy green. It's not a dark green. It's a light green, and it mixes with the white, and you get that beautiful soft blend and tone. So it's white on one side, green on the other, mixed down the middle, and you'll get that lovely softness. Slow down, please. Okay, slowing down. Sorry, Helen. Slowing down. Sorry, Helen. I'm conscious. I guess I'm conscious that it's a bit longer than normal, so I apologise for that. But we don't want to ruin everybody's painting, having done such a good job.
Mine's not.
Yours isn't a good job? Let me have a look.
Mine's okay.
Yours was kind of okay till you...
Well, you did put lots of colour in.
Yeah. We
Mine
might...
didn't work out as well.
Okay, we've got a bit of colouring. That looks nice then. Good. And yours is fine. Do you know what you should do is once that dries off, you can just put some white on it. But if you put it on now with it being wet, it's just going to make a big wet mess.
Magic.
Just let it dry. So I'm just going to show you Harry and Thomas's while you're just catching up there, because what they've done is they've added far too much colour look on the top of their paintings. But that's okay. If you are at that stage, let it dry, because you can just paint over the top. David, yours is looking really good. You've got a real subtle colour there. That's looking really nice.
I'm trying to copy
Green's
Dad,
looking good as well.
but
But you
I used the wrong
had
brush.
pure colours on your brush, whereas Dad obviously just used what he had down there. Well, that's okay. It's fine. If you let that dry, Thomas, you'd be able to put pale over the top.
Mine isn't very good because I couldn't blend that.
You can blend which bit?
That part. And it's gone all messy. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm fine with that. I'm fine.
So literally just use your brush and just use a wet brush and just blend like that.
Oh.
So you just need to use the wet, and the wet will help blend the colours back together.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Good job. Okie dokie. I'm going to carry on with the leaves now. So I'm going to put you back in the tripod. Helen, are you okay? Ready to go, Helena? Okie dokes. Okay, now we're going to do the opposite here. So this line that you had, your green leaf line, is going to be a dark line. So I'm using a darker green, and I'm following that line like this to there. So I'm following that dark line like this. And then I'm going to use the light green, and I'm going to do exactly like we did with the white, but blend the two together. So the light green becomes my pale area, mixes together with the dark green, and you should then have a dark outer edge. So this is my dark outer edge here, and then it goes into the paler green. Finally, in this corner, I'm just going to add in some white, and so you should see a transition then from dark green to light green. Doesn't matter if you can't get it exact, it doesn't matter, it's a leaf, you know, but the idea is we just want to show some sort of changing of the greens. If you haven't got dark green, then your other option is to add a bit of blue. So look, I'm showing you now. If you add blue over the top of green, that's how you'll get a dark green. It creates kind of emerald green. So if you don't have a dark green, that's okay. You just add in blue. All right, so I'm doing that. For those of you that don't have dark green, I'm adding blue. If you want to make your green darker, add blue. If you feel like your green is blue enough, dark enough, don't add blue. I don't mind. You can add as many colours as you want. You can have a red leaf if you like. All right, so there we go. So we've got this soft piece of the leaf this way, this large darker piece of the leaf that way, and in the middle we're going to paint the middle bit. You're doing really, really well, guys. Really, really well. It's quite a different kind of painting when you're painting something like this. It's not obvious what it is. It's really enlarged, but it's really soft and very pretty. Okay, so the other side of this white, I'm going to follow that curve with yellow. That curve with yellow. So I'm going the opposite, just the other side of the white. You right, Haz? Just watching?
Just slow down, please.
Slow down. Someone's saying slow down? Okay.
Oh, wait, no, that's from before.
Oh, that's the one before. Well, I think Helena's caught up now, so I think we're all right. So there's the white line. I've done yellow on the other side of the line. And then really simple again. It's exactly the same process. This time we're adding green and we're going to meet in the middle. So you're basically just trying to create three different blends. That one was pale green and white. This was dark green and light green. And this one is yellow and green. And it just creates those three different areas of our leaf. Remember, it's under a looking glass. It's really, 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 really enlarged. Georgia O'Keeffe specialised in really concentrated, enlarged pictures of florals and botanics.
Mum, is that not Daisy's AGC's daughter?
No. Daisy used to have a singing teacher called O'Keefe, but no, it's not related. Georgia O'Keefe was born in 1800 and something. So not related, Harry.
Could be like his like great.
Harry, keeps people of the last name O'Keefe.
Hello to Brad in Sydney and hello to Janet Pierce who's joined us from Bristol. David, your sister is online. Is she painting, do you think?
No.
It's Janet's birthday this week, so we'll give her a big shout out. Guys, should we sing happy birthday to Auntie Janet?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Janet. Happy birthday to you. Happy. Well, if that hasn't woken you up in England, it's certainly woken everybody up here in the Gap. If you've fallen asleep watching this, you are now wide awake.
Sorry for your headphones on.
I have to say, my numbers of viewers went from 37 to 35. I think Janet's probably just left the building. Oh, too funny.
And Uncle John.
And Uncle John. They've gone. They're a load of rubbish. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow just here to this part of my leaf. And a little bit of yellow just up here. So I'm literally just using a tiny bit on the end of my brush and adding a bit of yellow into that part of the leaf.
Is this the last bit?
Nearly there, Harry. And then I want to draw that curvy line back in again. So I've got dark green on my brush, and I'm just going to edge that part of the leaf again with the dark green.
I don't have any room
Me neither. I just did it. Done.
Beautiful. So just edging around the edge of that leaf there to get that swervy line.
I've done mine.
And while we've got green, we're going to go over our bottle in the middle.
We haven't used a small one yet.
Going to go over the wine bottle that we've got in the middle of our flower,
Oh, yeah?
like that.
Right in it. Oh.
Now this wine
We'll
bottle,
make it brighter.
obviously is not really a wine bottle, and it has a funny little top to it. So use your round brush and just create like a kind of like three-pronged effect, which is the top of it. That's when we change it from a wine bottle into the centre of the flower. Okay? You can add different tones of green to this. You don't have to have it just as one tone. Play around and experiment. I've gone with light on this side and darker on that side.
I've gone with light.
Like I say, if you don't have dark green, just add in some blue. That will darken it down. If you paint blue on top of green, it will add it and make it darker. You can see I'm just painting blue on green. It mixes on its own. I don't have to mix it up. It mixes on its own and just creates that dark colour.
I think there's no more room on mine anymore.
We're painting over the top of things, sweetheart. Okay, once you've done that, I know I'm skipping on, but this is quite easy for you to follow. We're just going to paint over our bananas. If you've got yellow, if you've got orange, you might have a golden yellow called an ochre. I'm literally just going to paint them over.
Are we using our ochre?
I've just painted it in yellow first, Daisy, and now I'm just adding in a bit of ochre because I always like to have more than one colour.
Yeah, you used the ochre after.
The ochre is like a golden brown. If you don't have that colour,
I got ochre.
you could add a bit of red and that will make an orangey colour. I'm going to add a tiny bit of white to the end, at the very tips of those blooms. And this open flower petal here has a little bit of yellow just on that section there. So just in the opening bit of where it opens, there's just the tiniest bit of yellow. Tiniest bit of yellow.
Oh yeah.
Just a smudge.
Just a little line there.
Gonna add a bit of yellow there. You can play around with the tones. If you want to add more tones, you can. If you want to add less, you can. If you want to add some pattern, you can. Just here on that tiny bit there that opens down. It's just almost like it's a little bit of, you know, if you look at irises or things like that, they often have, you know, all the little tiny figments of the flower. Right, this is the last little strange bit, okay? So just watch me. It's kind of like I'm going to say a halo, but it's not really. It wants to be kind of a see-through-y colour, and I want it to be kind of yellowy white, and it basically is a curvy shape. Oh, that's going to be too runny, it's going to drip. Whoa, help, help, help. It's going to drip, it's going to drip. Oh no, I've just put green up there. That's not what you want to do.
It looks like mums. Somebody wrote it.
Okay, so let me show you again. It's a little bit of white, a little bit of green, so it's a very, very pale colour. I'm going to have to stand in front to get it right. So it's just like a little bit of a shaky halo around that green thing. So let's call this our celery plant or our cabbage or whatever. Our wine bottle that's gone funny, and it's like a tiny shaky shape around there.
What colour is it? A really pale?
Like pale yellowy green, and you can have it a bit see-through, okay? So if the colour of the flower, if the pinky colour comes through, that's okay. And now I'm just adding some white over the top. Just a tiny bit of white. Just there. So it's just like this extra bit of the centre of our plant. Plant. Tulip.
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 Okay, peeps, we've got literally 2 minutes left of this painting. You cannot believe that we're nearly at the end, I know. I hope you are enjoying yourself. I hope you've enjoyed the painting. I love this painting. It's beautiful. I think it would look gorgeous in a beautiful white, large white frame. I don't mean mine's beautiful. I mean, I like Georgia Keith's painting. Mine looks okay. Okay, so I'm just getting some pale white. This is the centre of a fold, and I'm just going to create a pleat. So I'm starting, you see where we did our bum crack? I'm starting where the bum crack is, and I'm going up and into the middle. I know it's funny, Harry, but I'm trying to keep you awake, babe. And the other side of the bum crack up, and so we should end up with a really pale white flash on that side. That's what I'm trying to get. A really pale. If you haven't got any more white, you could use the pale pinky colour you've got. But we just want that. It's almost like a flame that's gone up through there.
Bum crack.
Not like the something funny.
Oh! Sorry.
Just had a bit of a chaos here in the studio. Harry's easel fell over and knocked over my drink. Good job my glass was empty. That's all I can say there.
Good job for drinking quick.
All right, I'm going to do a few final little adjustments, okay? These are like finishing touches. On this V here, I'm just going to go down one side with red.
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 Ready.
Here, on this one here, I'm doing red, and I'm just going to let it flow off. So you've just got that line that just kind of flows off the edge. Just like that. Harry and Thomas, would you like to go outside, please? I've got to finish this class. I can't have you suddenly messing around. Sorry everybody if you heard that on the microphone, but kids are kids, as they say. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of red here, just there, and under here. So basically I'm kind of just pulling forward those little lines, adding a tiny bit of red just to highlight them and bring the edges. You can really, you know, highlight whatever you want. So if you feel like you want to add some other details and you want to add some, I'm now going to do the same with blue, so I'm just adding a stronger blue line there into the middle. You can do the same, so you can add, you know, you might want to add, I don't know, some pattern work to one of the flowers. You can do that. If you wanted to add some more detail in the leaves, then, you know, when I finish in a minute, you can carry on. You can add some extra bits and pieces, personalise it yourself, really make it your own. This is your basic start, but you know, or you might feel like you're finished. All right, it's entirely up to you. I'm adding a bit of blue into the top of those funny shapes there, like the centre of my flower. And I'm just going to add an outer line on one side. And then I think I am pretty much done. That is our Georgia O'Keeffe tulip, people. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to walk around and have a look at the families and see what you think of their artwork. Don't show? Oh.
No, show everyone else, it's not mine.
Not yours? All right. All yours, David.
Mine.
Oh dear.
Okay, you can show mine.
You show mine.
The family have decided that.
You can show mine.
Why not yours, Dave? Yours was doing really well. It's all gone pear shape at the end there.
See what it is.
You can't see what it is. What it's a close up of a tulip.
I can't see
There's
it.
a cactus in the middle, a few bananas.
A few bananas, a cactus in the middle, and a big tongue. That's exactly right.
Just some random colours after.
But that's what Georgia O'Keeffe does. Her paintings are very much contemporary line work. They are, even though, you know, she's no longer with us, it is very much about exactly that. The contemporary sort of, not exactly sure what it is. And that's why that's what makes it so unusual and so special, is that it makes, you know, art doesn't have to have a start, a middle and end. It doesn't have to be exact. I know some people think it does, and that's where you have realism. But for me, it's all about, you know, just what it is. So that's my painting. I hope you like it. Ta-da! I have finished. Oh, I better sign it in the corner, because, you know, could be worth a lot of money one day. So I'm going to sign it down here. K for Karen, E for Elizabeth, which goes backwards, and S for Sally, which is my maiden name. So I'm exhausted. I've spoken too much, I've got a sore throat, and I'm really tired. But hopefully you've enjoyed that. I'm going to show you everybody else's pictures. Let me just take this down. Let's have a little look. Daisy, beautiful, darling. That looks great. Well done. Coming round to the two naughty boys. Very nice, good interpretation of a cactus and some bananas. Well done. David, lovely. Very nice. How do you feel about it?
I'm not that happy.
Oh, do you miss your black lines?
I do.
You need your black lines.
They cover all sins.
And Harry's, beautiful. Nice session of blending.
Yeah.
All right, people. Well, you can see my family are failing. The pasty seems like a distant memory. They're all tired and need to go to bed, and that's because we were all up too late last night partying away. I'm just going to sit on my couch. I want to say to you guys, have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely Saturday night. I hope you've enjoyed another sip and paint and crazy night with the Bessels. I want to tell you about next week, guys. And I really would ask you, please, 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 spread the word. Please don't use the water just at the minute while I'm talking, Harry. Next week, we are doing a rainbow elephant. okay? I'm not going to do a children's paint and picnic before. It's very much a family painting. We're doing a rainbow elephant, and it is going to be a rainbow party. I want us all to dress brightly coloured. I'm going to have rainbow flags here. Mum says, thank you, not easy. Sorry, Mum, but I got to change it up. You've got to have variety. Variety's the spice of life. Yeah, so it's going to be a rainbow party, and it's going to be rainbow to thank all the healthcare workers around the world. As we all know,